Welcome to my stories. I'm Voices and Voses. On this channel, we'll explore the power of learning languages through stories. Learning a new language is not just about words, it's about understanding cultures and perspectives. Stories make this journey more engaging and memorable. If you're ready, let's jump in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let's connect in the comments to make these stories even better.
Time passed. Days turned into weeks, then a month, and that phone call never came. At first, Jacob paid attention. Every time his phone rang, he quickly looked at the screen, expecting an unknown number, expecting something unusual. But it was always the same work emails, delivery updates, or Laura. The mysterious young man never called. Slowly, he stopped waiting. The thought of the phone call became smaller in his mind, like a dream that fades after waking up. Maybe Laura had just been joking. But Laura kept calling. At first, it was casual. "Hey, just checking in. How was work today?" Then it became about Iceland. "I found a really good deal on flights, but we have to book soon," Jacob would sigh, resting his head on his hand. "Laura, we don't even know if we're really going. That's why we have to plan. I checked the weather. June is the best time to go, and we should rent a car. It's the only way to see everything." She talked like everything was already decided. Jacob didn't understand why he kept answering her calls. Maybe because they distracted him from the routine of his life. Maybe because, in some way, it felt nice to have someone so excited about something, even if he wasn't. One evening, as he lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, a thought hit him. Maybe the phone call was just Laura's joke. She said I would get a call, but maybe she just meant herself. And Iceland. Maybe I told her about it during our date, and I don't remember. He sat up, rubbing his face. It made sense. Maybe he had imagined some mystery that wasn't there. Maybe he was overthinking everything, but still, somewhere deep inside him, something didn't feel right. At first, Jacob didn't take Laura seriously. She was just talking, making plans, dreaming. But as the days passed, her excitement didn't fade. She kept sending him links to travel blogs, videos about Iceland, and pictures of blue ice caves and black sand beaches. One evening his phone lit up again. "Laura. Okay, we need to decide something. Are we renting a car or not?" Jacob stared at the message. Was this really happening? Was he actually planning a trip? He took a deep breath and typed, "I guess we should. Buses won't take us everywhere." Seconds later, she replied, "Yes, finally, you're thinking like a traveler." They started discussing flights, places to stay, what to pack. Laura made lists. "You'll need a warm jacket, good shoes, and waterproof everything. It's Iceland, after all." Jacob wasn't sure how it happened, but little by little, the trip became real. He found himself watching videos about Icelandic landscapes late at night. He checked the weather forecast there. He even Googled, "How expensive is food in Iceland?" One day at work, as he was answering the usual boring emails, he suddenly stopped and stared at his screen. He was really doing this. For the first time in a long time, he had something to look forward to. Jacob's phone buzzed again. Another message from Laura. He unlocked the screen and saw a picture. A huge waterfall, surrounded by green cliffs. Below it, her message, Laura. We have to see this one. You can walk behind the water. Jacob leaned back in his chair and stared at the image. It looked surreal, almost like something from a painting. A few seconds later, he found himself opening Google Maps and searching for Iceland's famous spots. Jacob, look at this one. He sent a pin of Diamond Beach, where chunks of ice lay on black sand like scattered jewels. Laura, oh my God, that's unreal. Okay, adding it to the list. This became their routine. Every day, they sent each other locations, hot springs, glaciers, small hidden cafes, even a museum about elves and trolls. Laura was full of energy, and her excitement was contagious. One evening, Laura sent a voice message. We need to plan the best route. Should we start from Reykjavik and drive south first, or go to the north where there are fewer tourists? Jacob smiled. He wasn't used to planning trips like this, but now, every time his phone lit up, he felt a small thrill. For the first time in years, the future didn't seem so empty. The days passed quickly, and before Jacob fully realized it, the week of the trip had arrived. Iceland was no longer just a conversation, a distant dream, or a game he played with himself. It was real. At work, everything felt the same. The emails, the phone calls, the scripted conversations. But something inside him was different. For the first time in years, he had something to look forward to. He had already arranged his leave. A full week. A real break. He couldn't even remember the last time he had taken one. As he sat at his desk, replying to yet another inquiry about a Paris tour, he glanced at his phone. A message from Laura. Laura, do you believe it? We're actually doing this. He hesitated before replying. A small smile appeared on his face. Jacob. Yeah, I guess we are. For the first time in a long time, he felt something small, quiet, but real. That night, Jacob felt tired when he came back from work, but his mind wouldn't stop. There were only a few days left until Iceland. He was really going. Without even making dinner, he opened his computer and started browsing the internet. He read things like, top places to see in Iceland. How is the weather in Iceland during winter? And when is the best time to see the northern lights? Then he started watching a documentary. Volcanoes, glaciers, waterfalls. Iceland's wild nature looked amazing on the screen. The sound of the wind, the waves hitting the rocks, the steam coming from the hot springs. His eyes started to close. The computer was still on when he fell asleep. On the screen, Iceland's cold but beautiful landscapes continued to play. Jacob fell asleep in front of his computer. The screen's soft light glowed in the dark room. The Iceland video had already finished, and another video was playing quietly. His head rested on his arm, and his breathing was slow. Sleep was deep, like sinking into water. The room was silent. Only the quiet sound of the computer fan could be heard. Then a sound came. At first, it was very soft. Maybe it was in his dream, or maybe it was real. It was hard to tell. Something was vibrating, but he didn't know what. It rang again, louder this time. Jacob frowned a little, but did not wake up. Sleep held him tight. The third time, the sound became clear. His eyelids slowly opened. The light from the phone screen was too bright in the dark room. The phone was on the edge of the table, vibrating softly. With a deep sigh, he reached for it. His movements were slow, his mind still sleepy. He looked at the number, and suddenly he froze. What was this? The number was too long, much longer than a normal phone number. But that was not the strangest part. All the digits were 0. Only the last number was 7. Jacob was now wide awake. He blinked and looked at the screen again. Was he seeing it wrong? Maybe his phone was broken. Maybe it was just a system error, a prank, or a spam call. But what if it wasn't? The phone was still ringing. In the quiet room, the vibration sounded louder. Jacob's finger hovered over the screen, but he did not touch it. His logical mind said no. But deep inside, something told him this call was not normal. He picked up his phone, and the bright screen made him squint. It was already past midnight, and a strange, unknown number was calling. The numbers on the screen were long and didn't make sense. He hesitated for a moment. This kind of number was impossible. Was it a mistake? A prank? But before he could think, his fingers moved on their own, and he answered the call. "Hello?" he mumbled, his voice sleepy and unsure. For a few seconds, there was only static. A soft, unclear breathing sound came through the speaker. Then, finally, a voice full of fear. "If you answered this call, if you can hear me, please listen." Jacob's eyes widened. The voice, it sounded like his own, but that was impossible. He swallowed, preparing to speak. His breath was heavy, but he continued, his voice full of fear and anxiety. "This is Jacob Dunn. I remember this number because it used to be mine. But now I don't know who owns it. If you can hear me, please help me. My name is Jacob Dunn, and my ID number is 74283A36179. Please call someone, please. Help me. Find someone who can help." Jacob held the phone tightly, his heartbeat speeding up. Is this a joke? He thought. But the man's voice didn't sound like a joke. There was real fear, real panic in every word. "I was kidnapped years ago. I was in Mercury Plaza, basement level 7. Time is different there. Or I don't know, maybe But a god took me. A god. A being. It never let me go. It's been so long, please. Call someone. The police, authorities, anyone who can help." And suddenly, the call ended. He froze in the silence. He still held the phone to his ear, but there was nothing. He looked at the screen. The number was gone, as if it had never existed. He couldn't swallow. He couldn't breathe. The person he had just spoken to was himself, but that was impossible. He was here, at home, sitting at his desk. His hands trembled as he put the phone down. His fingers felt numb. He searched for a logical explanation. It had to be a mistake, a prank, but that name,